question. Do you always have a to-do list? Do you have that list sitting at your home somewhere that never seems to go away? Welcome back to One's journey of unwinding the mind and, of course, your daily microdose. Now, tune in to the latest episode of One's journey. It's this never-ending liability list, this never-ending list of things that you will never get complete because you tend to avoid them because they are annoying tasks or you just don't want to do them. So common. I would guess you do. I guess the majority of people have that list. And I love a client of mine introduced to me the liability list. It truly is a liability list because what is on that list is constantly taking up space energetically from you, taking up space mentally from you. But I want to talk a little deeper as to why do we have those lists? Why do we have these never-ending to-do lists that as much as we want to complete them, we never do? Well, first of all, I don't think we don't ever complete them because we don't have time. So that statement right there, I don't have enough time, we know is BS. You will make time for what is a priority in your life. Remember that. That is just a good reminder all of the time. So if someone tells you they don't have time, it's because whatever you're asking them is not a priority. Trust me, if today the person you loved got into an accident and was in the hospital, you would literally drop everything and go stay with them as long as you need it because that is your priority and all those other things would go aside. So when you're trying to decide why you can't do things, first flag, it's not a priority to you. So when you are looking at this to-do list and you're questioning, you're getting frustrated and you're like, I don't have time to finish this, remind yourself, I'm not prioritizing this. Why are you not prioritizing it? Well, because, there's a multitude of possible reasons, and I'm just going to share a couple of them and see if they resonate with you. One is that you have this internal narrative of you are unworthy unless you are needed. A need to be needed. So I recently was working with a client and she came originally to me, one of her big pieces was people pleasing, and she never wanted to just roll over again and allow someone else's choices to rank above her own. So we worked on that and she is doing amazing with that and really setting healthy boundaries and articulating what she needs in life, but also with an honoring, loving place. And she has this liability list. She has the honey-do list for herself that it just is constantly revolving. She takes one thing off and two things get added. And there's, a door needs fixed or email needs sent or a bill needs paid. Those really small mundane activities that actually, honestly, don't take very long. Or if you hired someone, it wouldn't cost a ton of money. But she always has that list. And so we unpacked it and really started to understand what this list represented. And though we had done all of this work of no longer needing the validation of others that they need her, right? Because she was a people pleaser and she also was always the protector of others. They used to call her the bodyguard when she was very young in school. And so she was able to see that we were able to uncover that, in fact, possibly this liability list is still filling that narrative. Though we have done a lot of work on that narrative, by having this list constantly, she will always need to be needed. And when that is our narrative, it doesn't necessarily mean you need to be needed by people that appear outside of you. Remember, subconsciously, we know that we are all one. So it's just an overarching statement of needing to be needed in order to feel worthy. I need to be needed. You can do that to yourself through a list. So if you're struggling to get through your list, there's work to be done, friend. There's opportunity that is a flashlight, first of all, to see, have you worked through that narrative at the most conscious level? Have you really began to address that narrative? Because the beautiful thing with this client is that she had done so much of the work, and we really realized this was a habit, an old tool that she no longer needs because she has filled her worthiness cup with different understanding and different narratives now. So this was an old narrative still playing. That's why it felt so uncomfortable, and she brought it forward because it no longer made sense. So because she had worked through a lot of that and it really didn't make sense, we could lean in immediately and start knocking things off, which she began to feel much emotions. These emotions started to come forward that list was essentially covering up, was helping to keep those emotions in the dark. But she's been able to work through them, and we are slowly chipping away at the list. And does she have to get through it in a matter of time? No, but this is an opportunity for heal at an even deeper level, because that list was just continuing to hold her in that place of being stuck. So that is one reason why you possibly have a to-do list that never goes away and always need to make a new to-do list every day. Another reason is because you are seeking salvation in the stuff on that to-do list. But subconsciously, you know it cannot be found there. So it's like the cat and mouse game. It's like constantly chasing the carrot. So if you never completely finish it, you never know fully that those things don't contain your salvation. So you're constantly chasing your salvation in those things. And let's say you get half of the list done and you don't find your salvation. Well, instead of taking ownership and knowing, oh, because my salvation isn't in anything outside of me, that is inside of myself, that is something I need to do my own work of, you can be like, well, it's because I still have 15 other things on there. That's why I haven't found my salvation yet. So again, it's a smoke and mirrors to keep you distracted from where the answers really are, and that is within. But this is like a vice. It's a crutch that's keeping you from them because it's pacifying your need, and it's reiterating your constant narrative that your salvation is outside of you. It's just this almost unobtainable place because there's constant need for new things that come into it. So you use that as a scapegoat instead of an opportunity to see, like, oh crap, like my salvation isn't there. Because I promise you, the feeling you believe you will receive when that list is done is not there. You have created a false sense of salvation in the completion of that list. And that is what you are constantly chasing. It will never be there. And instead, if you finish the list and found that out, it would be a force it would force you to see the mirror. To see that once again, you have sought your salvation outside of yourself, and it's really about doing the internal work within. So you're using it as an opportunity to ignore where transformation really occurs and to ignore where your happiness truly lies, which is not outside of you in that list. Okay. I hope this was helpful for you to maybe get a glimpse, a flashlight into understanding why you have that list that is never ending and you seem to not know why you cannot finish it and not know why you are avoiding it. Maybe today this video has provided you with some insight and next steps. Next steps, friend, do the work, hire a coach, go to therapy, ask yourselves the questions, journal, do daily gratitude practice. I don't care what it is, but if you just watch this video and you realize, oh yeah, that's me, and you continue to do the same thing, how helpful was that? I mean, you're here for a reason. This video found you because there's a nugget in here to help propel you forward. As always, tune into the next video. This one is all about lists, but I encourage you to go back and visit some of the fundamental videos of the foundational pieces that will help you to begin to find your salvation within yourself. As always, much love, and remember you are worth it. Bye-bye.